Thank you so much for staying tuned. We had to go for a break to make some changes. Well, the comments of the guests that just left the studio, yeah, they had to go attend to important things, you know, Sunday things, going to church and all that. That's how to, like, you know, put a stop to that interview with them so they can go and attend to other things they need to attend to. I was given time, but then once it gets out, so time, please stop us. We have to go say hello to God and stuff that I just can't interfere with it. So with me here in the studio, I have Stanley Osaze Osakonukudi. Yeah, a very vibrant youth politician and entrepreneur. And when it comes to political issues, come to community issues, is well grounded in it. But we'll take a look at the aspect of self-determination. Yeah, self-determination, or what you call secession. Yeah, everybody clamoring to, like, wanting to do a particular group of you know, of persons coming together. But before then, I want him to really dive into the resurgence, so to speak, of the disbanded CDA. We'll talk about this right to self-determination. Stan, I know that you are in depth with this community thing. We've talked about it before you came into the studio. This aspect of some youth putting themselves together to say we are in charge of trying to develop our community. If you own a land before, they didn't see any building there, they'll tell you that either you go settle them or divide the land into two and give you one part so that you can start doing what I want to do with the land. What do you feel about all this?
Very firstly, I don't want us to misconstrue this issue.
Yeah.
But first, I want to say I'm very, very sorry for coming late. It was actually as a result of some activities that took place around the Aho Auchi bypass road. This morning we are coming. I spent over an hour there. This same group of, in part, that particular spot where they kidnapped that American-based Auchi man that was kidnapped and killed. These same people came out from the bush shooting sporadically. So we have to wait for a long period of time. In fact, I have this information on my social media handle. So that was the hiccups that prevented me from coming here earlier. Because I know the focal point of my discussion here today is centers on this community-related activity from the angle of Winston and Macha.
Not one angle. For what is happening right now, for what is going, it's like a resurgence.
First, I did a vice youth chairman in a community. And I immediately ended my activities when the state and the traditional institution directed that everyone should hand over to the elders, the Ohens, the Odionwiris. Sorry, the Odionwiri, no Ohens for traditional juju and the rest. Yes. The Odionwiris and the Enogis, as the case may be. This is not to say that an indigene of a community is not an indigene. Whether you are a youth, you are an elder, you are an old man, for as long as you are a free-born citizen of that community, you are an indigene. But when it comes to the issue of land administration, people tend to look at the youth, the youth, the youth, the youth. I want to give you this fact. No youth act in a community without backup.
Without backup?
Yes. No youth act in a community without backup. Let me give you a classical example. If all the elders in the community, all the enogies, as the case may be in the community, decide to say, no, we don't want this thing, nobody or group of persons can go contrary to what the elder said. But in a situation where the elders in themselves, they are divided, some will say they are now recruiting armies of youth to achieve their selfish aim in the community. Then you see a situation where such community will be polarized. That is why when you see group A will come to your side to say, give me money. After paying them, group B is coming to say, give me money. After paying them, group C is coming to say, give me money. You keep on paying and paying and paying. Then when you come out to say, why am I paying? They will say, this is, they must certainly see 2, 3 or 5 elders that are capable enough to receive such money to show to you that these are who we are remitting to. So first, if you want to blame the youth, blame the elders who are creating this sustainable template for these people to strive. Then secondly, developers are assisting these youths.
In what way?
Good. Let Osakwedokoni goes to any community now to buy land. Let one person or group of persons say either his head is hot or crazy. Let the person comes to my side to misbehave. You will know that the law that the government made as passed by the State House of Assembly and the directive of the Omonova It's enforceable. But you know, many of these developers will say, community here, they keep on growing and growing and growing because you are Yenia. Get it clearly. This is not to say.
Oh, please, could you please interpret that aspect?
Give them. You know how these community people be. I beg, give them. This is not to say that when somebody peacefully gets to a veteran, because under a normal situation, you are the government did not say you should not pay the remittances that must be paid in the community. Get it clearly.
Yeah.
At times, it is Oba call it a molu. Come and cook pounded yam. Let's eat. This was what was obtainable in the past, even some 15 years ago.
But then after doing all this in a molo and the rest of the other group will still come and say bring.
That is where the issue is, and that was what I explained from the initial stage.
Yeah.
When you give a molo, you can choose to say, I want to pound. But these communities will say, no, if you want to pound, give us 70 goat leg. That's to say you need to buy goat leg and hand.
Yeah.
That's to say you need to buy at least 30 goats to get 70 goats. So you see the excruciating conditions given to a developer. The developer will not say, no need, I will pay the money. Whereas the focus of these people, they want to collect that money at the detriment.
All right, now you just hold on. We want to go on a break. When we return, we'll continue with the discussion. Don't go anywhere. Do stay tuned.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. And just join us right now in the studio is a legal practitioner, Barrister Matthias Obayowana. Barrister, welcome to TMI Sunday's edition.
Thank you.
I appreciate your coming. We're a tad bit late though, but okay, yes. It's all right. Better here than never. All right, Stan, you were making your point about these harassments caused by some group of youths coming together to harass prospective land developers. Continue from where you stopped.
Yeah. Apart from my experience in the community-related activity, I'm into surveys, and on a daily basis, I visit almost all the bushes in Edo State. That's why I call myself a professional bushman. So you do not need to tell me anything in respect to what is happening in communities. As I've earlier said, it is easy to quickly call on the army of youth, but go and look at those who are orchestrating it. It's a collaborative effort. Some group of elders might not be in support of the Odiowen or the Enogi. They will not be looking for youths to cover themselves so that they can perpetrate their own personal activities. If you think I am lying, negotiate and discuss with this youth. They will say, come and see our elders. Whereas at the end of the day, the principle of kill and divide is going to come out when the resultant comes into being. That is why we always advise people. In the past, you have an excuse to say, I don't have money to secure my property. When you get a land and you have a CFO on that land, you do the nitty-gritty, what is expected on that land. I think this is a legal practitioner. He knows. In fact, when you have a CFO on land and you bought that land legally, you do not need to discuss with those you are begin to do. If they come to your side, because with what you've just said now, that they will say you said you bought 1 by 2 from us, you come and settle us so million naira, and you say no, I can't settle. I already bought legitimately. They will say, okay, we want to shade. Nobody can share such land. It's for you to not get in touch with your legal practitioner. Your legal practitioner will take the issue from there. And if anyone refuses, in fact, I have always advised people. Some person, when it comes to issue of land, you run to the police station to go and call the police. It's a barrister. Police have no such right to discuss over land.
All right.
Police can only identify the criminal matters. That's why when the police is writing petition in respect to land matters, they will say, when you now went to him to tell him to give you your land, what did he say? He said he wants to kill you. They will identify that as a means to investigate the land. They cannot just jump into land matters. It is only when the court directs that the police should go and enforce based on the decision of the court. That is when the police can come with full force to say we want to act. Beyond that, it's a civil case. So it is expedient that when anybody gets a land, secure it properly, because this community youth that you are talking about, as I've earlier said, and I will repeat it, they are all indigenous of their communities.
I'll come back to you, Stan. As a legal practitioner, what do you have to say about this? You get to see harassment of prospective land developers, despite the fact that the CDAs have been disbanded, but legally and traditionally. Get to hear you have one big parcel of life. You don't come set to us after doing the integrities, we'll divide the land into 2 and give you one part. A typical example is what happened in the Ubugyobo community. Yeah, I saw a live a live scene of what is really going on. If you have a parcel of land, you don't have money to, like, you know, give to this set of youth, divide your land into two, take one part. I mean, as a legal practitioner, what do you say about it?
Well, that is outright illegality. It's understandable that in many communities, when you perhaps use the land for farming, it's often said that every member of the community had the right to farm on the land. In those days, when we have what they call shifty cultivation, you farm here for some time. After a while, you move to another area, allow this place to fallow, and then to farm. So every other person had the right to farm there for communal use. So when people farm on the land in that circumstance for communal use, at the end of the day, when times come for development, the community will be able to issue approvals to such farmers or such individuals who are interested in the land for building purposes this time. What you had was for farming purpose. So in that circumstance, you can say, fine, since you farm on the land for a number of time, we will take one part and give you one part for building purpose. The other part will be for communal use. You know, so it's done that way.
Okay.
But where you, like he has rightly noted, you acquire this parcel of land, whether you're using it for farm or whatever purpose you're using it for farm, you secured it. Maybe you have applied for your CFO, or you already have a community approval over that land, not just for ordinary farming. You got a community approval over that land, and you also apply for a CFO over that land. No community people can come and say, this land you've been using for farm for many years. Let us split it into two. You take one part, I take one part, because you are removing it. You are removed away already from the communal use that was put into by use of by the reason of the shifty cultivation system that we are operating for farming. Purpose. So in that circumstance, nobody can come and query you over that. You know, that is why, that is the mischief. Another area of it is that, yes, you may have secured this land, you have got the CFO, you have everything working on the land. People now come and say, by the time you got this land, our forefathers just give you this land for peanut, the consideration. But they forget that consideration, what we regard the law as valuable consideration, don't necessarily mean the particular amount of money. Maybe as far as your own estimation is concerned, maybe somebody gave me 1/2 for 100,000 naira. If that money, that consideration is valuable to you at the time,
at that point in time,
possession will pass, ownership will pass. So your children cannot now come and say, you gave my father 100,000 naira to buy a 1/2 in an area that is worth 2 million naira. We will not allow you. The ownership was not in you at that time. The person who had ownership regarded that consideration to be valuable. So whatever it is that is valuable to you as a consideration, ownership will pass. So there is now 5 community people coming out and say, look, the money you pay at that time was too small. For now, if you want to possess this land, you are going to pay us XYZ amount. Otherwise, we will not allow you to enter. Or we'll split it into two. You will take one part, we'll take one part. How can you take the whole of this land mass for such amount that you paid in the past? It does not lie in your mouth to say that. So in that circumstance, that would be mischief. That when they had this CDA, they will enter the land, they will take one part of it and begin to drag with them and all of that. They use force of arm and all of that. They ask you to come and settle community. There's particular one I'm doing. I will not mention the name, you know, of the community, but we are doing a particular one now with the PPP, Property Committee that was set up by the government of Edo State. So we had a large expanse of land. People came out to say, look, the man was working on fencing the land, and the community people said, you cannot just fence this large expanse of land without seeing us. Come and see us. They went and see the items that the workers were used to work. And then my client went to see them, and they said, okay, well, as it is now, you are going to give us 80,000 naira for each plot of land. He has about over 200 parcels. They are going to give us 80,000 naira for each plot of land, or you will split this plot into two. You will take one part. We will take 40% of that plot. You will retain 60% of the plot. So you choose either of these two. Otherwise, you cannot work. So they came complaining. I said, look, why would they do so? There is a law in place which the government of those and our Oba the second brought to be to check the mischief of this community CDA or youth-based organization, the Private Property Protection Law of Edo State. That was part of the Assembly, which has outlawed every community development association or youth-based organization that is tasking people, extorting people that you must pay XYZ amount before you can work on your land. Every development levy, whatever name called, has been scrapped by that law. The only thing that recognized by our custom is what we call the emolu.
Emolu.
So when you are going to do build anything, is as a matter of honor, you are seeking the respect and the prayers and the blessing of the elders. Say, sir, my fathers and my mothers, I want to build in this environment. Please, I need your blessing. Then in those days, you cook pounded yam, bring drinks and all of that, cola. They will bless you. They will eat from that stuff. So they will bless you and the work will continue. That is traditional. So you cannot invite the elders and say, I'm preparing food for them. When you can say, I don't have food to prepare, I don't have the time to do so, let me just monetize it. Okay, let me just give some money, the elder can get something for themselves. However, I still need your blessing. That is acceptable. But you cannot hide under that emolu affair to begin to say pay 80,000 naira per plot or forfeit 40% of your plot before you can work on the land. So we have filed a petition to the PPP. And the elders have been called to question. And then all they are saying, no, we didn't say so. We didn't ask him to pay any such money. In fact, he didn't come to see us before working on the land. And the wisdom of the member of the committee said, go back to the elders. Since the elders have said that you never came to meet them, though you said you came to meet them, go back to them now. Go and tell them, I want to come and work on my land. What do you require for the emolu? And get back to me on that. All right. We have been back and forth on that. Nothing is forthcoming. We are going to get back to the committee. So the point remains that the police, yes, do not have the right, the decision to dabble into land affairs. It is the court system that will look into it. So when people want to test your
resolve.
Yes, on this issue, I begin to say, look, I enter into this land. If you don't want to pay me, so XYZ, you cannot work and all of that. They harass you. You don't have anywhere to go to. You go to the police. They say that police don't do land matters. Yet you have your lawyers that you would have gone to seek legal advice. Go to court, get an injunction to restrain them from doing XYZ on the land, from trespassing on the land, and get damages for trespass on your land. Okay. So that is what you need to do.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Barrister. Now, Stanley, you've heard him, but sometimes these youths are resilient.
You know, in the course of our discussion from the initial stage, I said that it is because developers are assisting them. Now, just look at what the barrister have explained. In fact, his own father happens to be my barrister, my lawyer. His own father, Mr. Obayiwana himself. And he's a human rights activist. Now, let me quickly tell you something. It is because land developers are assisting these people. Now, in the case of his client, they went to meet him on site, seized all his property. Instead of going to say, well, please help me, please. He immediately consulted his attorney, and they went to appropriate quarter. As we speak, they all came to deny. Nobody that is not afraid of government. But there are some that will say, as I've earlier said, they will say, please, give them. You know, this community people, I don't want to give them. At the end of the day, they keep on consolidating on their strength to the level at which nobody can now confront them. So developers are the one building monsters. When such things happen, consult your lawyer, do what is right. This is not to say that there are no room for ADRO or alternative dispute resolution. You can come out to say when the environment is salubrious, when there is peace in discussion, you can come to say, my brother, you have 50 plots here. May you still give us regard now, you know everything. That person will be happy to give you. But in a situation where you want to say, I am the community, no. Confront them. But I want to say something in respect to approval. You know, by the power of God Almighty, beyond our professional capacity, we were into communal activities. You know, this approval is now available everywhere. These youths have these approvals. Now, what are they doing in communities? Let me just open it to you now. They will say, I have 10 plots. Given to me. Actually, they were given 10 plots. Approval will be written boldly. Mr. Osahweno, quoting for an example, was given 10 plots in the years so by the elders of the community. When the man wants to come and sell, now the youth, he will keep that approval. He will not sell beyond 1 by 2. The question is, where is the land? Today they will say, this is the land. Take the approval. They will give you a photocopy. Because they cannot give you the total 10 plot approval. They will give you a photocopy. They will keep the original. Because you are only buying 1 by 2. They need the approval to cover the remaining 8 plots. They would have sold about 60 plots. They will still be selling with the approval. I don't know if you are getting my point.
Yeah.
So the approval that you think you have, the next man have it. The approval, and again, let me tell you, one single approval can sell a whole community.
Just one?
Yes. You don't need 2 approval to sell a community. One single approval. If somebody say, okay, you say you have template, I want to buy the template, they say no. We are selling only 8 plots. So that I have a brother that will allocate 1 by 2 for. So you just buy 8 plots. When you buy 8 plots, when the next man comes, the next man will still buy another 8 plots. The other will come and buy another 8 plots. The approval will be there. So having an approval is not enough, because even if you come out with, I am not a lawyer, and I have no right to preempt over issues that borders on legal activity. And I know he's a competent aficionado in the legal profession as a legal luminary. So he's in the best position to explain that. But let me talk within the confine of my professional capacity. I think...
As a bushman, you call yourself?
As a professional bushman, yeah.
Bushman.
The CFO man at those states. Yes. Now, the truth of the matter is very simple.
Yeah.
So, if peradventure, you find yourself in such situation, even let me tell you today, communities are selling government lands. And government will not come out to blow trumpets to say, PPP, you are selling my land. But when government is interested on that land, government will take what rightfully belongs to them, no matter whose horse is God. So that is why it is advisable to, we are talking to developers, land developers. Before you develop, you need to see. Some people will say, if you just see the land very cheap, they say to 200,000 naira for 100 by 100 in town, and you run to buy. You did not check first. You did not consult an expert to tell you if that land is government land or not. You went to go and pay. Your lawyer is not aware. All you want to do is to run to your lawyer to say, I have bought the land, please write a deed of transfer. The lawyer will welcome you. But under a normal situation, from the first stage, your professional should be involved, your lawyer should be involved, so that at the end of the day, your lawyer should be able to defend you where necessary.
All right.
And some persons are not aware that when it comes to the issue of land, in government land, you have what we call category A, category B, category C, and category D. Category A, no matter who you are, even if you are a brother to the governor, you have no right to encroach into category A. You have no right to encroach into category B. But some people will say, we got a CFO in category B. Even if you have a CFO in category B, it is null and void. It only came to you because of the fact that there are relationships between you
and the person in charge. It's getting more and more elaborate, getting more and more easy and complex in so many ways. Category A, category B, category C. Now, what advice do you have for some landowners that have been harassed, victimized by this said group of persons as a legal practitioner?
Yes, it is rampant. It is rampant. I mentioned a case earlier. I have another one I'm also dealing with at the moment. Yeah. You know, that was in the Amamba community. People acquire their land, don't begin to envy them when they're developing it, and begin to encroach or test their will to deal with you when you encroach. Many do not have the capacity to go to the lawyer because they believe that litigation is expensive. Yes, it's quite expensive because you have to pay your professional fees to your lawyer. But if you look at if you place that value or pay professional fee to your lawyers as against settling these persons, that will become a vicious circle. Because when you settle one set, another set will come and say, look, I'm interested. The person you settle was the wrong person. I'm the real person. So if you are sure of your title to the land, go to your lawyer. They will go to court and restrain them from further encroachment on your land. And let the land grabbers, be brought to notice that the private protection law of Edo State that laws harassment of land developers seizing their materials and demanding money for extortion is very, very stiff. It carries the punishment of 10 years imprisonment or a fine of 5 million naira or both. 10
years imprisonment or a fine of 5 million naira or both.
Land grabbers, development elders who are collaborating with them be made aware. So when they complain and the matter go to court and you are found guilty of that an offense, be ready to pay that price.
Thank you so much, Barrister Osakonokodi. 1 minute.
This is a message to everyone. This is not peculiar to the youths alone. It is both the elders and the youths in communities. So if you want to have a salubrious environment, the peaceful environment, let the elders themselves organize themselves. This is the bitter truth. The youths are only the army moving here and there. People are orchestrating this. Most generally, no gears and audion will raise. So they should be called to order.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. You've heard them, though they came late, they were able to deliver the message. You've heard them. If you are in that category, you now know what to do. They have what they call the PPA, right? Yes. You go there and lay your complaints, and they have this cheapest penalty, 5 billion naira or 10 years imprisonment, or both. So which one is it going to be? Whenever you hear them say the first and of course second discussant, yes, their opinion is there. It has nothing to do with ITV, but they follow the rules and regulations governing the airwaves. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of it. Open our call on you on this particular issue. You oblige. Very well. All right. From all of us in the studio, we're saying have a wonderful Sunday. Bye for now.